Welcome inside Turner Gymnasium on Wayne Prophet Court, where tonight we have ourselves a squad volleyball scrimmage between Team Red and Team Gray, which is wearing white. Trying to get confused. I'll do my best if you do yours. I'm Joe Hutzler, the voice of the Hornets, and our final broadcast of the fall semester. It's amazing that we've been able to do as much as we have, considering the restrictions that have been put in place, but you've got to tip your hat to everyone involved on this campus, starting from the president on their way down, for believing that we could not only get through it, but we also could dominate in doing so and showing others why we are truly one nation. It's not just what's happening on the court or on the field of play, it's what's happening all around this campus, and we are that much closer to the end of the semester. Something that a lot of people didn't think we could do, but we are inching ever closer, and this is a nice way to cap off a crazy semester with volleyball here tonight. Now, this match is not a part of the Hornet Cup. They did something different during that week because they were not able to have your traditional scrimmage due to some COVID restrictions, some folks in quarantine. Pretty much not enough players to field a full squad like they have here this evening. So doesn't mean that you can't come back later and take care of business, and that's what's happening here as the teams wind down their fall seasons. We saw it with women's soccer over the weekend. They had one final match before their fall season was complete, and volleyball is doing it here tonight as well. We've got Team Gray. We've got me on camera. Hello, how are we doing? First time all semester, first time all year that's happened. So since I'm here and you're here with me, good to see you. This has been a long time coming. I'm glad I got my hair cut for this. And we are excited to bring you this final match. We are excited about what's coming up in the spring semester. So far, 78 events will be on LHSM between the YouTube channel and ESPN3. We are jam-packed for the 2021 semester. Changes certainly will come about depending on opponents, depending on ourselves. But that's why it's important for you to follow us on social media at Lynchburg Sports, especially on Twitter. That's where most breaking news happens. Also sometimes on Instagram stories. If you follow any of those accounts, you may have noticed that tonight we are trying to permit only family in the gym, keeping people distanced throughout. We'll show you some shots of that as the game progresses, making sure it's every other row and trying to limit the exposure of those in the building, including, of course, our athletes. So they have broken up and are about ready to tip off, if you will. The first serve of this match is about to commence. Let's tell you who's on the teams. To your left on the screen is Team Red, and they will have Lily Smith, Abby Leeper, Sarah Connolly, Michaela Cox, Katie Cornelius, Emma Drake, and Princess Salafu on their team. There's the Gray team. Well, they're wearing white, but we're going to call them Gray because of the Lynchburg colors. Annie Tynes, Flynn Christian, Paige O'Donnell, Josie Walton, Callie Clevenger, Natalie Lavelle, Alexis Horner, and Corey May are your Hornets in gray this evening. It looks like Coach Ryan Turner, his first year with the squad as a graduate assistant, he will be coaching Team Red. Coach Givens, the interim head coach, will be coaching the gray squad. And Justin Klein, another assistant coach for University of Lynchburg Volleyball, will be our head judge, our #1 official, standing on top of the ladder. And before we get started, one more thing to be aware of. Between sets, we will hear from former Lynchburg volleyball player, class of 2020, graduated last year, Erin Farina, who is pulling double duty for us tonight. Not only is she filming highlights to bring us and highlight packages later down the road, but she'll also be speaking with us about what she's seeing, probably some things that I'm not privy to because of her relationship with Coach Givens and these girls, and can really bring us some inside knowledge that wouldn't normally have. So off the bat, it's a good answer from the red squad. Nice tip from Emma Drake to tie things up at 1 apiece. Very young squad coming back. Lauren Stanford, as I mentioned, Erin Farina, Sydney Frank, those ladies have graduated, moved on to bigger and better things. Although Erin might question that, she's still here, so who knows. But those that are those that are here, some of them you'll recognize and some will be new faces or just old faces getting more playing time. And certainly a group that Coach Gibbons is excited to see in action come spring 2021. 2-1 lead for the Gray squad. Clevenger, nice block. Cornelius sets up and cannot punch it over, was Michaela Cox. And give Gray the assist, if you will, to Clevenger for that block. Putting the ball literally and figuratively back into the red team. Lily Smith gets it across. Tynes with the return. Here's Clevenger, found a hole. And the Gray squad has scored 3 unanswered to take a 3-point lead. Line drive serve, returned by Smith, but out, so it's an ace. Thanks to Paige O'Donnell's line drive serve there. We'll go back and take a look at that last point with Clevenger getting it across and in. 5-1, Gray in the lead, and then O'Donnell's too strong on that service. And Red getting a much needed break. Abby Leeper will serve. Christian now Tynes. Here's Corey May, steps into one. Leeper kept it close to the net. Easy pickings for Clevenger. So now it's Flynn Christian's turn to serve for the Gray squad. Gray team does have the majority of subs. Red squad just has 1. Salafu returned by Christian. Tynes sets up Clevenger from the 10-foot line. And Smith sends it over. Set up for May. It's a bit far away, but just a partial block won't get it done for the Red squad. And Team Gray in control. Up 7-2. I'll try to get the score bug up there for you so you can see what I can see in the gym. There you go. Whistle before the kill attempt. And that's going to go against Team Red. Some more bad news for them. Cornelius behind to Cox, batted away. Leeper kept it in play in the corner. Cornelius back line to Christian. Tynes setting up, and we'll try again. Second time Horner able to get it across. Here's Cox. And was it in? Was it out? Let's get the call. Coach Gibbons says it was out. And Coach Klein says it was deflected out, just so he finds the favor of Team Red. So 8-3 is the score. Red needs to put a couple points together here. Good chance. Cornelius out to Smith. Straight into the net, comes back. Cornelius pushes it. Now it's Tynes setting up Horner, and it deflected off the top of the net and out. I beg your pardon, and in. Was not touched by Team Red. And once again, it's a one and done situation for the Red squad. And again, they do not have substitutions. This is the rotation they're going to be on for a while until Emma Drake comes back in. They need to score more points to do so. Cornelius on a dead sprint to keep that one alive. Excellent. Now she's got to get back on defense. Tynes setting up. That touches the antenna. Easy point for Red squad. Katie Cornelius, one of the seniors, looking forward to getting one more season, even if it is in the spring. And looking forward to another serve later on, as that one was just too strong. Gives it right back to Team Gray. Corey May with the service now. Right down the line to Smith. Cornelia setting up Lily Smith, coming back in. May returns, and Smith eventually, no, she touched the net. I think when she came down, that foot probably was across the line, and ends up giving it over to Team Gray. Disappointing when you think about the effort that Smith put in on that play. Instead, it's May serving again. 11 serving 4. Salafu blocked and touched the antenna. Automatic point to the red squad. See if we can catch Smith when she comes down. Nah, not going to be able to get it. O'Donnell in the shot there, but good work by the one-man crew on the floor tonight. And a big kill from O'Donnell. Smith did what she could to get underneath of that one, but nothing doing there. And now the red team makes, I believe on the last point, they actually made that rotation. So Michaela Cox is out, Emma Drake is in. This is Christian serving. Salafu got it across. O'Donnell will try one more time. Block, Salafu and Drake. Walton on the other end. And a double is called on Team Gray. Still plenty of time in set number 1. A 6-point advantage for the Gray squad. Walton had it deflected. Smith keeps it alive. Cornelius setting up Smith on the back line, and that's the danger. Leaper and Smith were side by side, so no one up front to handle that knockdown by Walton. And she will exit stage right. Callie Clevenger back in. Annie Tynes steps back to serve. Cornelius setting up Drake, and too strong. Maybe a little bit too much time off the court. Another good look at it. And a timeout is taken by the red team, down 14-6. They said they'll take about 90 seconds during their timeouts, so we'll take about, oh no, they put 60 on the clock. So actually we're gonna stay here. And I'm going to bring in Aaron Farina for the first time tonight. Aaron, simple question number 1. What do you think so far about this action?
I think right now it's the first time everybody's played in a real game-like situation. I think people are trying to get the nerves out. We've seen a lot of swings go out of bounds due to a little bit of overpower. I think everybody just needs to get their feet underneath them and get a little bit more comfortable, and hopefully we'll see everybody settle in the rest of this set and the rest of the coming sets.
I think that's a really good point you made about just kind of getting back into the swing of things, because it's kind of been a while since they were able to have a full-on practice, full team, because of all the quarantine situations. Does that make things not just tougher in terms of how they're playing, but now they're coming out here trying to communicate as well, and they haven't really had as many full team practices as, say, a soccer or field hockey who's been outside for a while?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, volleyball is definitely a sport where, like, being able to coordinate with your hitters, like via your setters and your passers and things like that, is really important. So not being able to have had a lot of practice time between those key players is really important, and we're kind of seeing a little bit how they're struggling with a little bit of that right now.
All right, Aaron, thank you so much. That is a point worth noting as the first set continues, 14-6, and a huge point for the red squad out of the timeout. I don't care what sport it is, if you're the one that takes the timeout, you want to come back in and get the goal, the point, whatever it might be in your sport. You don't want to give up something when you took a break on purpose. So 14-7. Red has still yet to string 2 points back to back yet. They do it now. Tynes kept it alive. Christian, now O'Donnell, and good gamble by Cox to step out and watch the ball go with her. And there's that 2 points in a row for Team Red. Cornelius will try again, her third service of the first set. And just like her first, it's too strong. Easy side out for Team Gray. Paige O'Donnell gets it across. Leaper returns. Back to Leaper from Cornelius. Pushes to the backside. Now it's Tynes for May. Light touch to the middle. Played here for Leaper, and too much of an arc. Send it too long. O'Donnell has that ball just die when it comes across the midcourt line. Tough to handle, but Red did so. And then Clevenger maybe got a little bit of a break there. Salafu and Leaper going for the block instead of letting the net take care of business for them. And 3 touches for the red team. Those are the most frustrating points to give up, is when it's a blatant error on yourself. You don't even give yourself a chance, your team a chance to fight for that point. Can't complete it. And there's the miscommunication again. Cornelius seemed like she wanted to go for Salafu, and then Conley was there, and Coach Turner's got to call another timeout. A 10-point advantage for the white squad. And Aaron, I know you haven't been inside of one of Coach Turner's huddles yet, but just in general, in your time as a volleyball player, what possibly could be said right now?
I think right now he's saying the main thing is communication. Some mistake like that right now is fully just people not talking on the court and not wanting to be aggressive enough. I think that a lot of them might be in their heads right now, and when things start going downhill, communication is the first thing that usually drops off, but it's the one thing that absolutely cannot.
Well, speaking of communication, you might want to tell people around you that you're not talking to yourself. You're getting some weird looks at the moment. Let them know you're on double duty. Thanks again. We'll talk to you in a few minutes. So 2 timeouts taken by Coach Turner and the red squad. The gray team pretty much from the jump have been dominating this one. Red team did get the first point, but that was a long time ago. Gray team has seemed to have more of that communication. Now, certainly they're benefiting from the unforced errors by the red squad as well, but they've looked more cohesive. The gray team has. And I'll bring it up again because I think it's worth noting they got more subs, so they're a little fresher too. Big response from Team Red. See the intensity in the eyes of Cornelius. It might just be a scrimmage, but these girls room with each other, so the smack talk's going to keep happening even once they leave the gym tonight. May blocked by Salafu and Cox. And we got another violation. This time it's on White, came across the line. And so 2 points out of that timeout for the red squad. Coach Turner saying, let's go. Don't wait, don't take a bunch of time. Let's pounce on them while we have a chance. Tynes just sends it across, no way to set that one up. Back here for Cox. Straight into the net. Important thing for the red team is obviously there's another set after this, so carry this momentum, try to finish strong. Even if you might not win the first set, you want to win these last couple minutes. Smith partially blocked. Tynes kept it in play. Excellent effort by Annie Tynes. And then Leaper not able to get it across, partially, in my opinion, from being back so far from the net. And so it's back to a 10-point deficit for Team Red, and the gray squad is just 5 points away from taking set number 1. And again, a miscommunication there. Not helping the red team. Cornelius plays it for Cox, and again, Cox is short. She knows what she did wrong the last 2 times. Now it's a matter of cleaning it up between set 1 and set 2. Christian, return by Smith. Cornelius and Cox in the same area together. Coach Turner coming in, trying to give him some words of wisdom. No timeouts left. None that he wants to use. With it 23-10. 2 players in the same space. Cornelius going all over the map tonight. She's picking up a lot of steps on her Fitbit. Gray still steady Eddie, but they do make a mistake with the double. Gray's made about, I'm going to unofficially guess, 4 mistakes that have given Red the ball on their own errors. So take that in consideration when you look at the score. And again, a double is called on the Gray squad. Every little bit helps if you're wearing red right now. Sarah Connolly. Here's May looking for the kill. Nice job by Leaper digging that one out. Tynes for May. Slight touch, stayed alive. Good job by Salafu. Smith from the 10. Long volley here. This is good. This is a big point for Red if they can get it. Corey May knew where the opening was, took advantage. And again, it wasn't going to be a point that meant they were going to come back and win this set. It was a chance to build. Forget about the first half of this set and build at the end and take that into set number 2. Set point for the Gray squad. Salafu just reached up there, used all that long arm length to put that ball in a perfect spot, barely off the floor, and took care of business. O'Donnell returns, chance for a set point from Walton, too strong, and we continue. Cornelius goes back again. She'll go down the middle, and Flynn Christian pulled away at the last second, let that one go. And the service error means that the white team, well, Gray for scoring purposes, takes set number 1, 25-14. So the plan is, according to Coach Givens, they're going to take about 6 minutes between sets. So we're going to take 2 minutes, step aside, come back, we'll chat with Aaron Farina some more. Then we'll take another break, come back, show you some highlights of the first set, and then set number 2 will commence. Right now, Team Gray leads Red 1-0 on LHSN.
I was looking for a school that could provide me with the athletics, academics to pursue my career, a wind symphony to pursue my passion for music, and really have a nice general atmosphere. The professors here are really unique, their background and their passion for teaching. It's really a place where you can explore. Lynchburg gives you the opportunity to fail, but also get back up in that period of time and learn from your mistakes. I can make these mistakes within the school environment, but also with the support of other friends, and be ready for the real world when you graduate.
Together, I don't know when or how we
Welcome back inside Turner Gymnasium. Joe Hutzler and Aaron Farina with you, and we're still in our first set break. And just real quick, Aaron, I know we talked a little bit during the first set, but you've been in situations where you've had a little bit of practice, then you're doing your full team scrimmages. How gassed do you think that possibly these players could be after their first 25-point set all year?
I think that some of these girls are probably pretty gassed. Like, playing in practice and then playing in your first game, like, it's completely different. You can be as prepared as you can with preparation and practice and things like that, but it's just not the same until you get in the gym in front of a crowd in a real-life game situation with the clock running and the score up on the board.
Well, there's some adjustments to be made, that's for sure, for the red team. We'll see if they can make them. We're going to step aside for a few more moments. We come back, highlights of set number 1, and more action from Turner Gymnasium. This is Lynchburg Women's Volleyball's inter-squad scrimmage on LHSN.
If I'm walking around over on the crowd side, I always hear someone yelling, "Hey Nat, take our picture. Hey Nat, get this," or something, or "Hey Nat, you got that shot?" Like, so I'm always like trying to photograph the crowds and my friends calling my name. I think sports at Lynchburg unifies us as a whole. No matter what background we come from, what differences we have, and what experience we've experienced through our lives, it brings us all together and we have one goal, which is to win. As a photographer, I definitely get to capture the emotion and the feel and the atmosphere of what's going on during the games and what's happening in the crowd and with the fans. We have hugely dedicated fans here at Lynchburg. They come out whether it's rain, snow, sleet, windy, no matter what. Like, they will come out and support their team and cheer them on. They will sit through anything. It's just, it brings us all together as one.
Welcome back as we show you some first set highlights that will probably feature a lot of the gray team having some positive moments as they took the 11-point win, 25-14, in the first competitive set of the year, of the school year for Lynchburg volleyball. And the gray team just looked like they had more of the cohesive communication. They knew where the others were going to be. I think that's the biggest point of emphasis that I noticed from high atop in the hornet's nest here, is just the lack of, or I guess the large amount of the red team being in the same place at the same time, instead of moving, I'm going to be here, so you got to go over here and cover this spot. Obviously that will come with more time, but we'll see what kind of adjustments can be made within the groups themselves, and also what switching the coaches will do. So Ryan Turner, who was with the red squad in the first set, is now with the gray squad, and Coach Givens is now from the gray side to the red side. So interesting to there's no way for us to know this, and hopefully they're kind of preaching the same messages in a way, but I guarantee you, if red team comes back and wins this set, like, okay, Coach Turner, where's the disconnect here? Just more office fun to be had before things ramp up in January. So here we go, set number 2 about to get underway. Red team will serve first. Katie Cornelius, who's been back there a lot. She's off your screen, but she is coming into frame now as we begin set number 2. And once again, O'Donnell able to get it just there, just touching the hardwood before Lily Smith can get underneath. And Gray right back where they finished. Flynn Christian gets it across. Cornelius setting up Salafu. going right down the line. Excellent idea, but Clevenger right there to keep it alive for the Gray team. Now Leaper with the traditional set and kill attempt, and that'll do it. Abby Leaper, part of a talented sophomore group. Really a balanced roster. We expect to see more than just your typical, in the past you had those dominant 3 or 1 or 2. I think you're going to see a really balanced group. It's going to be an embarrassment of riches for Coach Gibbons trying to figure out what the right combination is on the court at the right time. Leaper back to serve again. O'Donnell returns. Christian sets up Clevenger, and that's too strong. So Team Red coming out a little more patience, higher level of execution, and a 2-point lead. Never led by more than 1 in the first set. Huge block by Team Red, and too many hits. It would have been. I know it's early, but remember what I said about Coach Turner and Coach Gibbons? Something's cooking here. I'm not to give him a hard time. O'Donnell partially blocked. Cornelius comes in out of nowhere, and then Lily Smith finishes with the kill. So many times like that in set number 1. It was close, but she couldn't quite pick up the kill. This time she does and forces Gray to take a timeout. A 5-1 lead early in the second set. If you missed the first set, this is not the Red team that was there for those 25-plus points total. I mean, this looks like the Gray team just said, here, you take our mojo and have fun with it. This looks like a totally different team. We'll take a look at some highlights, too. And obviously, as you rack up some points, you're going to get more aggressive. You're going to feel more confident, and that's what's happening with the Red team. They have less subs, but they're also very young, very energetic. They're able to, and what I can tell so far, show their athleticism in a way that is almost unmatched. They just couldn't get the communication piece, the fundamental pieces put in place in the first set. Now they're getting that. Now they know their spots. Now they're basically being where they're supposed to be, and it's proving beneficial. So a 4-point lead, 5-1. We'll see how Gray responds after being in a position they haven't been so far. The coaches have changed sides, but the teams are still the same, just in case you were wondering. Certainly you don't want to be changing jerseys during COVID-19 restrictions. Lavelle, blocked by Drake and Salafu. Here's Clevenger on the outside. That's a block, and that is another point for the Red team. Princess Salafu up front on both sides of the net, both ends, I should say. She wasn't playing on the Gray side, too. A part of both of those blocks, domination at the net, and dealing a big blow again up front. I don't know about y'all, but man, I'm getting some goosebumps. This is fun. 7-1. I guess it's not fun for the Gray team, but after watching the Red team struggle, it's amazing how quickly things have turned around. Now it's important for Gray to get 1 point, then another, slowly work their way back in. 1 point's not going to be the answer. They're going to have to string a few together. O'Donnell, returned by Connolly. Cornelius down the middle from Salafu, blocked out of play. Point again to Red. And Gray looks discombobulated right now. That lady's doing most of it herself. Tynes changed her return at the last moment. Cornelius, nice job of getting that one up after the hard kill attempt from O'Donnell. Christian to the middle with Lavelle. Changed direction, and that played in her favor. First point since the opening point of this set for the Gray team. And O'Donnell will look to showcase that low serve just barely over the net to help them string another point behind this one. A little more arc on that serve. Drake directly into the net, might have even touched the antenna. Either way, it's point Gray. O'Donnell, there's that line drive serve. Conley was ready for it. Leaper gets it across. And a double called on Flynn Christian. Conley. Christian able to set up Lavelle on the outside, partially blocked. Leaper kept it in play. One more hit to get it over. Drake does just that. Here's May. Softer touch. Cornelius setting up Drake. It's a double. And an unforced error by Team Gray, answered by another from Team Red. And things are getting a little bit tighter. 5-point game. Short setup. And, well, they didn't change the scoreboard. Coach Givens of the red team wants to call a timeout. Still says 9-4 on the scoreboard. Well, that's what it says. So that's what we're going with. Timeout on the floor from Coach Givens. Aaron, can you provide any insight into what just happened there? I know Princess hit it, and no one really celebrated, and they called a timeout.
Honestly, Joe, I did not really see what happened, so I'm a little confused as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I assume that she got the point, but no one really celebrated, and Coach Givens called a timeout. So. Is this just it's a timeout to just say, okay, great start, but that's not going to be enough to win it, so we need to keep on pushing?
Yeah, I think that they were getting a little bit frantic in the last couple points, and maybe that was just a timeout to say, all right, let's calm down and let's get back to how we started this set.
Thank you, Aaron. They did make a scoreboard change. They put 5 on the board for the Gray team, so something must have happened in the way of violation on the red squad. I was wondering what Max was trying to show us. Certainly not going to have your hands in during COVID and do the typical 1-2-3 Berg. So they're using their feet instead. So it's 9-5. Team Gray with the point before that timeout from the red squad. And they're inching their way back closer after being down by as much as 7-1, and a big response from the red team after the timeout. Cornelius down the middle. Clevenger to the corner. And the violation was on the Gray squad. So Red got the point anyway. You saw it and you heard it directly into the net. So each team trading giveaways. And Flynn Christian back to serve again. Connolly sets up Smith, partial block, kept alive by Times. Here's O'Donnell stepping into one. Salafu, Smith down the line. May was in a good spot. Walton will give it a try. Cornelius there. Last second decision from Cox. Not a great set, but able to get it over. Was Horner, and then what's it going to be, Coach Klein? Point to the Gray squad. Off the knuckles of Lily Smith, and Connolly Cornelius in a dangerous position. Very fortunate that it was just a form of a tabletop. Look out, Gray team is within 3, and they've got the serve. Things are rolling in their favor, and the rafters also on their side as that return came up and came straight back down. The rafters have been holding up this place since 1969. Becoming a factor. Leaper started that exchange. She finishes it. May will get it over. Conley runs in. Cornelius sets up Cox on the outside. Return well by Christian. Leaper out of play, and we've got ourselves a 1-point contest in set number 2. Coach Gibbons has already used 1 timeout in this set. Close to the net, that's a tough one. And somehow, red team prevails. Lily Smith sporting the customized UL face mask that she made. Started the possession and finishing it will be Alexis Horner, one of the newcomers for Lynchburg volleyball, and keeps it a 1-point game, 1-point set. Unlucky bounce, came right back after May's service attempt. Looking at the last point from the Gray squad, thanks to Horner. Meanwhile, Connolly gets it across. Set up here for Walton, and it'll get deflected. Looked to me like it was deflected, and that is the call. So Gray team back within 1. That thing looked like it came straight out from the hands of Walton, and certainly tough to do when your follow-through is to go down. So it was deflected, and we go back and forth here. And again, Red will go up by 2. Keep this up, and could be a good thing for them. Got to win by 2. Big moments. We see some phones out in the stands. Parents and friends alike trying to take in the action. The only action they've been able to witness this semester, and the only action they will see until March. Red team again trying to start the set well and finish well. Katie Cornelius low this time. 2 out of her first 3 serves were too far, too strong. 2 out of her last 3 have been too short. Two-point set. Christian again back to serve. 3 Red players in the same position. That time they got some help from the Raptors to catch their breath and get it across. Lavelle tries to take advantage quickly in the middle, not there. Here's Leaper on the outside, too strong, too high, too gone. And point to Gray. So far, it's the classic game of catching them was one thing, passing them's another. Gray has not been able to get any closer than this. Tynes played that one. The teammates told her to let it go. O'Donnell. Now Cornelius sets up Drake. Tynes setting up O'Donnell. Great spot, dug out and out of play. Tied up at 15 all. The Gray team has only led once in this set when it was 1-0. An unforced error gives them the first lead since then. And Coach Givens has to use a second timeout. So 60 seconds begins to roll off the clock. I'm going to take a break myself, grab some water. You should too. You're watching Lynchburg Volleyball's inter-squad scrimmage on LHSN. Much better. Do you feel refreshed? I feel refreshed. We're ready for the finish of this second set. And I think we're in for a treat, folks. I think these teams know it's just an inter squad, but this is the most competitive they've been able to be all fall long. And usually this time of the year, they're an ODAX. We've already played a full regular season. Now we're fighting for an ODAC championship. So those competitive juices will continue to flow as we've got a tight 1-point set with Gray leading the match 1-0. Out of the timeout, huge kill. Emma Drake puts that tally on the board and ties it up at 16. Tynes just gets it to O'Donnell. Swings into that one. Drake will go for it again and will again pick up the point for Team Red. I got a little bit nervous because it came awfully close to hitting that projector over there, which has been our lifeline. We do our weekly all-staff meetings in the gym. That's why they have the projector and all the chairs over there so that we can have a hybrid setup with folks at home and folks in person enjoying each other's company. And not enjoying that luck was the red team. Ball was high and actually going out of play, and it hit the rafter and came back in and landed inside the line. O'Donnell gets another ace. Her second that I can recall. I'm sure if her parents are watching and it's more than two, they're saying, no, Joe, it's more than that. So I apologize. No stats for this game. Doing it all by memory. Cornelius, too tight to the net, double anyway. And Red gives up another point. This is not the time to have these crucial giveaways. 19-17, you gotta keep it within two right here. Red needs a side out. Smith responds, she gets it back from Cornelius. O'Donnell returns. Down the middle with Lavelle. Cornelius got a piece. Smith, almost like a prancing horse, gets that one over. Cornelius, Drake. Here's O'Donnell stepping in and deflected out. Team Gray, they took a while to get back to that first set form. They've got it now. Kudos to Emma Drake. She confirmed with Coach Klein. She said, yeah, I touched it. She didn't have to do that. Big block all by herself. That one goes down as a big solo block from Miss Clevenger. One of those players fighting for playing time. I mean, you're a sophomore. You want to get yourself in a position where you're seen. Number 13's out on the floor a lot. This is a chance to do that. 21-17. Red led by as much as 6. And they're falling apart here late. Just saw the tail end of that play, but man, impressive stuff from 13 and Gray. Red desperately in need of a point. They'll take it however they can get it. And that's not going to work. Red looking like Team Gray did to start this set. And all of a sudden, Gray's in a position to go up 2-0. And that's right where they'll be. Set point coming up here, 24-17. It was 18-17 after that Coach Givens timeout. Boy, how things have changed. Block, and too many. Not over the net as well. And mathematically, not out of the woods yet for Team Gray, but Red has to be perfect. And then some. Did it touch Cornelius? I think it touched, that counts anyway. Yep. It was deflected just barely, so that's the end. Corey May picks up the final point for Team Gray. They lead it 2-0 from Turner Gymnasium. You're watching Lynchburg Volleyball's inter-squad scrimmage on LHSN. Sanitize.
Hi, Mara Willis. How are you? Pretty good.
A lot of people go to the universities to find something to be a part of while getting their education. And when you come here, Lynchburg is that something, it becomes a family. It doesn't matter how long ago you had your professor, they still remember you and they remember all of the hard work that you put in. They're always there for you and they always want to do the best that they can to help you succeed. Here you learn how to love one another regardless of what's going on or what you believe. You leave here better than what you came in. It's what this school's really good at doing.
Okay. We're good.
Welcome back inside Turner Gymnasium. Taking a break between set number 2 and set number 3. It's a 2-0 lead for Team Gray. And I'm going to interject into Aaron Farina's conversation with Tyler Gallagher for a moment. And Aaron, I couldn't help but think about individuals that might be doing, from your perspective, better than maybe you even thought? Has anybody specifically on either side stood out to you based on your experience with them, or just what you may have talked with Coach Givens about previously?
I think that for the Gray team, I think that Paige O'Donnell is playing really well. She's having a really strong service game. Also on the white team, I think we need to give a lot of credit to Annie Tynes. She's setting for half of this game, and she is not a setter, but she is doing a very good job.
There's no question about that, and she will look to continue to do that as we head into set number 3. We'll step aside for a few more seconds, come back, show you highlights of set 2, and get you ready for, well, you know, set 3.
The biggest thing that I've taken from Westover is probably my interactions with faculty. I started working with Dr. Fryer. He's always available for help, and he makes sure that I get to do the experiments and not just be there while he does them. I didn't want to limit myself when I came here to just taking the prereqs for med school. I wanted to get a full, well-rounded education, and I definitely found that in the Westover program. It's given me the opportunity to keep playing soccer at a competitive level, but also it's given me the ability to be a student and to pursue other activities such as EMS. "100% do Westover because it's not something they're going to regret, and it's going to be a lot of work, but so is everything else. It's just going to help build their education that they've already had and make them a better person for it."
Let's take a look at some of the highlights of set number 2, in which Team Gray came back and won 25-18. Team Red came out on fire, just like the uniforms they're wearing tonight, and had a 7-1 advantage before Team Gray just started chipping away, and we got to that middle part of the set, and Team Red started to hurt themselves. It wasn't so much the Gray squad dominating and turning things on. They were taking advantage of the opportunities that were given to them by Team Red's mistakes, and then they started actually turning things on. So it was just a bad recipe for the Red team, and now they're in a really tough spot. It is worth noting, talking to Coach Givens before we started, they plan to go 5 sets no matter what. No matter what the score is, they're planning on going 5 sets, and we plan on being here for all 5 of those sets. It is going to be your traditional 5 sets, so the 5th set is the 1st to 15. So even if whatever color they are, the Gray team is able to win this set, and technically they win the match 3-0, we will still have more volleyball for you because, hey, we've been volleyball-less for the better part of 3.5 months. So let's get 5 sets in, shall we? But at least for this set, we're treating it like it's the potential final set. Gray team looking for a sweep in your traditional match setting. There's Paige O'Donnell rolling with the attempt. She's part of that block. And I think Lavelle would get the full solo if we were doing stats. And the Gray team with the 1-0 early lead. The coaches have gone back to where they started. Coach Turner with Red and Coach Givens with Gray. And a violation to the Red squad. Well, Aaron Farina, Annie Tynes can serve too. She picks up the ace on that point. And Gray looking like their first set selves early on. Cornelius Drake did not touch the antenna somehow, so we keep going. Red is scrambling right now, and they still pick up the point. May gave it all she had to get under that ball, but Red will get their first chance to serve. It's Cornelius with the serve. Tynes for Clevenger. That went off the antenna, obviously. Big moment for the red team. Tie this thing up. Prove that you can hang with Gray in this third set. That'll help. Ace from Cornelius. She has served more than anybody else on the red team tonight. Does a good job again. Lavelle to the middle. Two red players collide. Leaper, Clevenger out of play. That's twice now. The red team hasn't looked perfect leading up to the end, but the end gets them the point they're looking for. And they take the lead for the first time in set 3. Cornelius flies into frame and gets that ball across. O'Donnell cross court, answered by Smith. This is too close to the net. Clevenger, her eyes got all big, but it's still red with the chance. And they do it again. It was 3-0 Gray. The red team looking for their 6th unanswered point. This time Cornelius goes county corner. And O'Donnell sends one hard, and Salafu on her own with the left hand gets it across. O'Donnell again blocks Salafu and Cox. Cox steps into that. Cornelius and Connolly in the same spot. Cox will get it from Cornelius. Excellent return by Tynes. Christian setting up Clevenger. Cornelius in the center and double. Paige O'Donnell goes back to serve. Closer to the net than they wanted, but still able to make a play. And Corey May didn't even have to jump. Line drive, timed it perfectly. And we're tied up again. Leaper blocked out from Clevenger. Here's Lavelle at the 10, returned by Connolly. Another double violation from the red squad. Christian serves. Now Christian sets up O'Donnell. Leaper dives cross body to keep that one alive, but another violation, third one in this set already for the red team that's just giving it to the gray team, giving the point to them. Connolly. No miscommunication, but they got it done. Here's May, and blocked down. Much needed side out for red. Seven all in set 3. 2-0 lead for Team Gray. May's attempt goes off the arm of Cox and out of play. Point Team Gray. You know it. Strong serve by Tynes. Leaper backing up. Not able to get it as cleanly as she wanted. Another ace for Annie Tynes in set number 3. Team Gray looking for the sweep in this inter-squad battle. Goes right after Leaper again. This time she's ready. Now it's Smith set up for the kill. And great response from red team. Looking at it one more time. This was a few points ago, but still helps to show red get the points, and they just did. There's that Corey May kill as well. Good job by the crew to show plays from each team because it is tight, 9-8. And now a violation and some complaints from the white squad. Coach Gibbons coming out, showing her discontent to Coach Klein. He's a pretty even-tempered guy. I think he could, if he doesn't already, he could definitely be an official. I could not. Big kill, Drake. Emma Drake. She has subbed in and out with Michaela Cox a few times in this match, but when she has been in, she's showing the coaches, hey, why don't you all keep me in here? See what happens. This literally is a battle with your teammates as red prematurely celebrates the point, but it goes to the gray team. Obviously, this is an inter-squad scrimmage, but this is your best chance to show what you got before you go home for winter break. Coach Gibbons and Turner and Klein, they have to make these decisions when you're coming back, and this is the best film they're going to have before that first practice in 2021. Another double in the third set. I think this is the most I've ever seen in any kind of match, whether it be a scrimmage or the real thing. Great dig by Connolly. Did it count? There's a bit of a late whistle from Coach Klein, but he says no. So if you remember earlier, Corey May had a serve that hit the net and bounced back into gray territory. This time, hit the net. Well, it worked in their favor. So she'll go back and serve again. 2-point lead. Largest of the third set. Cornelius just got that one over. Miscommunication again, but they come away with an opportunity. Cornelius, Drake, hit a few hands. The arms of Christian kept it going, and Walton not able to get it across. Big side out for the red team, and a timeout taken by Coach Gibbons and Team Gray. I'm gonna take a break too. I got some Kit Kats right here, so enjoy the crowd noise. Oh, that was perfect. Nice little sugar rush here to finish out the third set for you. It's 12-11 in favor of the Gray squad. Joe Hutzler, Aaron Farina with you tonight. Aaron Farina down on the floor, actually shooting video highlights for us as well. Go ahead and take a moment to shout out the crew as the coaches have a discussion. Olivia McGee pressing all the right keys at the director chair. We have Laurencia Moten in charge of replays tonight. And Maximilian Bourne is on the floor, bringing you those replay angles and even live shots as they happen. Big thanks to them for making this happen and getting it as close to the real thing as we possibly can for you and everyone with you at home. Big kill, Josie Walton. So excited the mask came flying off as they take a 2-point lead after that timeout taken by their coach. Well, their coach for this set and the first set. They've won all the sets so far, and they've got a 2-point advantage in this one. Connolly for Drake, blocked, and a point again. Lavelle and O'Donnell. Cornelius setting up Leaper, partial block. Gray with a chance to play, and Salafu makes appearance again up front with the block and side out. Right down the middle from Connolly, blocked by Salafu. Tynes pushes it up. Walton from the 10. Drake from the 10, blocked out of play. I can't help but chuckle a little bit at Michaela Cox over there on the red bench, if you will, the only substitute for them. Trying to celebrate with anybody, but no one's around. She's like, yeah, man, yeah, you guys do it. Awesome. They're doing it. They're down 1. They still have a chance to tie it here. Salafu, played by May. And Red ties it at 14. Connolly goes back to serve again. High Archer. O'Donnell won't get a chance for the kill. A double charge to Tynes. This time O'Donnell does get an opportunity. Salafu sends it back. Natalie Lavelle can't get it through the arms of Salafu and Leaper. They are pumped up. They're about to join the step team, y'all. With those types of high knees and hard shoes to the floor. And they should be. They need this to keep the match going. Up 16-14. Down 2 sets to none. O'Donnell, this time, lightly taps it. Salafu plays it up. Here's Smith to the backside. And Tynes let it go into the coffin corner. And the red squad, they've been down 3-0. Now they're up by 3. Their largest lead of the third set. Conley, great serve, hard to return, but Gray gets it done. Conley plays it for Leaper, stepping in, and May got it off the arm, and it went flying into the wall. Coach Givens wants a timeout. We're going to take one and bring in Aaron Farina. Trying to catch her off guard. She's ready, I can tell. So, from your perspective, Aaron, I mean, is it really as impressive as I'm trying to make it sound, what red team is doing right now?
No, I mean, it's very hard to come back from any type of deficit, and it takes a lot of mental focus. I think that they're doing a really good job slowing down the game to their pace and taking 1 point at a time and slowly gaining back that lead.
When you look at the adjustments, can you see any adjustments? Can you see what Red has done to help themselves look a lot more efficient, just a lot more clean in this third set?
I think they're kind of going back to basics. I think they're slowing things down and making sure they are doing the fundamentals correctly. I think that when they're speeding things up a little bit, they tend to get a little frantic. So making sure they're keeping the game at their own pace is really key to them finishing out this set.
No question about it. And kudos to you. That's the first time you said "we" tonight. I know that's gotta be. I know it's gotta be really tough.
It is tough
in this particular situation. So we'll hear from Aaron again between sets 3 and 4. Right now it's 18-14, 4-point lead for the Red squad, who are down 2 sets to none and in need of a set win to keep things going in the traditional sense. Again, as I mentioned before we started this set, Coach Givens did say they plan to go 5 sets regardless, unless the girls are just completely whitewashed and they can't do anything else. But I would beg to differ right now. They seem energetic and ready to rock and roll. And we're going to bring it to you here on LHSN. Connolly short on the serve. After that timeout, exactly what the gray team needed. So it's Tynes to make sure that gets over. Here's Leaper stepping inside the 10. It got blocked, kept alive too many times. It goes around on the red side. And that block for Team Gray helps them gain the point. Shoe taps all around in place of hand claps. And we keep going. 2-point game now. Leaper, soft touch. Tynes plays it up for Clevenger. Blocked, and Clevenger gets it over. Was it 4? Coach Klein with the whistle. He's got to make a call. So he calls a lift. He called a lift on the gray team. So Red will get the side out. And Coach Klein will take the junk that comes his way. Actually looked like a really productive conversation between him and Callie Clevenger. Not an official conversation, a coach conversation. Gray responds. Keeps it a 2-point contest. This is where the red team fell apart in set 2. They led 18-17. They fell 25-18. Now they have the advantage. Katie Cornelius doing what she can to get her team excited about that point, even if they didn't get it themselves. It's a big one. First time the red team has reached 20 points tonight. Conley plays it back. Cogs down the line, but not over. Tense moments in set number 3. Serving 20. Here's Cornelius for Leaper. Great job by Christian digging that one out. O'Donnell tapped by Cornelius. She wasn't quite sure on it. You can see the arms came up and then I'm committed now. Coach Turner has yet to use a timeout, so he still has plenty to choose should he do so, should he want to do so. He might if it ties it up, if it gets tied at 20. Connolly, Smith, into the net and down. And it's tied 20 all. He looks at his team, says, "You guys okay? All right, we'll keep you out there. No timeout needed." Smith off the hands of O'Donnell. And the no timeout call looks like a good one after that point for Team Red. Back up by one again. Conley back to serve. Return by Christian. Tynes sets up Corey May. Leaper setting up Smith. Light tap that gets returned by Christian. Here's O'Donnell. Leaper steps into that one. Here's Cox on the outside. Leaned into by O'Donnell. Clevenger. Cox. Here we go. Huge moment. O'Donnell dug out by Clevenger, and O'Donnell hits the rafters and down. Big point for the red team. Huge point. That's D3 for you, baby. Athletes got to mop the floor, too. We do it all, and we do it well. 22-20. Reds got to win. Smith steps into that, partially blocked, and touches the hardwood. Point Red. Gray's bench trying to get him incensed with energy and execution. They know they need this side out. That won't do it. Set point for the red team. Connolly serves, too strong, keeping Gray in the battle. Ooh, boy. High arcing serve, close to that net. Connolly punches it over. Tynes sets up near side for May. Double, and that's it. Set number 3 goes to the red team, 25-21. And so they keep things alive. We go into set number 4 with a few commercials and more Aaron Farina. After this, you're watching Lynchburg Volleyball on Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network.
If I'm walking around over on the crowd side, I always hear someone yelling, "Hey Nat, take our picture. Hey Nat, get this," or something, or "Hey Nat, you got that shot?" Like, so I'm always like trying to photograph the crowds and my friends calling my name. I think sports at Lynchburg unifies us as a whole. No matter what background we come from, what differences we have, and what experience we've experienced through our lives, it brings us all together and we have one goal, which is to win. As a photographer, I definitely get to capture the emotion and the feel and the atmosphere of what's going on during the games and what's happening in the crowd and with the fans. We have hugely dedicated fans here at Lynchburg. They come out whether it's rain, snow, sleet, windy, no matter what, like they will come out and support their team and cheer them on. They will sit through anything. It's just, it brings us all together as one.
welcome back inside Turner Gymnasium. I'm that guy way up there at the top. See? Hey, how you doing? Joe Hutzler with you on LHSN. And quickly, let's bring in Aaron Farina. All right, Aaron, we know we're going to 5 sets, but this is a traditional so far playing out to be what we want it to be. Red battles back. They get that set. They finished for once. Can they build, in your mind, can they use that to get another set win here, knowing that traditionally they would need it to force a 5th?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that they had some good momentum coming out of the 3rd set, and it is getting late in the match now, so they need to capitalize on that, as well as the fact that everybody's getting tired right now. So if they can keep up their intensity and make sure they stay on top, I think that they got a real shot of going to a 5th.
One more question on that note. I mentioned early on in the broadcast that they only had 1 sub. Does that really make a difference compared to the fact that the Gray team has 2 subs?
I think it kind of just depends on the player. I mean, the red team already has a lot of players that are used to playing all the way around, so they have that conditioning built in. But especially for the middles, for Princess in particular, I can only imagine how tired she is right now.
Well, she's young, she's a freshman, she's supposed to have all this energy. Let's see if she's got it going in the 4th set. We'll step aside for a few more moments, come right back with that 4th set we've been talking about so much. Can't wait. All right, take a look at some of the highlights from set number 3, in which the red team won for the first time tonight, 25-21, and they finished the set strong, just as they started it strong as well. It'd be really interesting to see which team can finish out strong in this 4th set. Obviously, red wants to win it. They want to go to a 5th set in the traditional sense, even though Coach Gibbons has said, hey, we're going 5 anyway. But for the gray team, that could have just been a flash in the pan moment. Oh, yeah, they won that one, but we are the better team, so we should come out here and win the match 3-1. So we will find out, no question about that. We hope that you, if you haven't already, find out more about your Lynchburg Hornets by following us at Lynchburg Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Also, if you're watching this game on YouTube, which how else would you, be sure to subscribe to our LHSN channel and click on that bell icon to be notified of every video as it is published, so that you're the first to see it and like it and share it with your loved ones around the globe. We look forward to bringing you more action in the spring semester. As I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, doing the schedule today based on the matches that we already have, the games we already have scheduled. There are 78 events at home for LHSN to bring to you from January 23rd to the first part of May. That is not including some non-conference games that will be added, and of course some home tournament games as well. So it's worth the effort to smash that subscribe button and keep watching this excellent match. Coach Klein, it's your choice. And it gives the point to the red team, as that one just favored them.
I'm so sorry.
That's Corey May, by the way, if you heard on the microphone. She had to wipe up the floor again. Hey, that just shows your effort. Don't apologize. Cornelius. Is that in? Coach Turner said yes. Nobody from the gray team was like, yeah, that definitely, that's a point against us. So Coach Turner had to step in and say, all right, ladies. It was in. So ace for Cornelius. A 2-0 start for the red team. Well off the mark from Lavelle for O'Donnell. Christian setting up O'Donnell. Smith was ready and waiting. And now Leeper trying to execute. It's Walton. Two best friends get their chance at kills. And 4 touches from White, or Gray, beg your pardon. Means another point for Team Red. So Cornelius starting to lay some bricks in that foundation, staying back there at the service spot. And then the big bad wolf came and blew the house down. Flynn Christian, and that's out. Service error, rare for Christian. And this is shaping up exactly the way that red team needs it, especially getting some points given to them. Hasn't been much of that tonight. They've usually been the ones giving them away. Lavelle put all she had into it, and it was just enough to get past Smith and Salafu. And double check on Lily Smith. I think she's all right. She was favoring one of her right fingers. Not a good spot to get a stinger, that's for sure. Salafu tells O'Donnell to have a seat. Well, they called that against the red team. Well, still a good call, even if it was wrong. And the red team battles back and gets the point anyway. We're going to have to get on Mr. Official here, put his signals up higher. I missed it. I'm going to blame him, not me, of course. Oh. Someone found the crowd mic. (6-3) for the red team. They've got the advantage and the serve. And a coffin corner ace from Sarah Connolly. Connolly again. May force the play. And it's Lavelle down the middle. Connolly answers. Set up here for Smith, and that one finds open space for yet another point. Team Red. Aaron and I talked about it, more specifically Aaron did, but just how would they come out? They expelled a lot of energy in set 3 to not be swept. Could they keep that going late in this match? And so far, they've done a really good job of it. Now Team Gray, who tried to assert themselves and put them in a comeback position as they were in the second set. Down by as much as 6 in that second set, and they came back to win it 25-18. Smith had it blocked. Here's May in the middle. Now Connolly setting up Drake on the outside. Return cleanly by Christian. May's turn. Two players run into one another, and Smith tried to punch it across. Nothing doing there. And it's 8-5. Tynes, who has had an excellent night setting up her fellow teammates. Back to serve. Here's Smith with a kill attempt up high on Christian. And that'll get the men's soccer and men's basketball players in the gym excited. we're men. We just love contact. We just love aggression. It's in our blood. So many other key areas of this sport are just as exciting, but nothing gets a male more excited than that. 9-5, Smith, and it was not deflected. No, it was not. Coach Givens confirms what Coach Klein was saying. It was not deflected. So Gray with the point, and back within 3. Josie Walton checks in. Callie Clevenger steps out. It's Walton, Horner, and May up front for Team Gray. O'Donnell, Tynes, and Christian stay out there. Here's Leeper down the middle. Rainbow's won over. May. Would have been a block anyway from Cox and Salafu, but it was a double before that. So a giveaway by Gray. And a point for Red. Lily Smith with the stand-up serve. Does a very good job of it, and then pirouettes her way into keeping that ball alive. Leeper had it blocked, and it's got to play, so it's point to Red. (11-6), as it says on your screen. Lily Smith with the serve, and off the mark. Everybody comes together and touches their shoes. How long is that going to last when they're playing Randolph-Macon or Washington and Lee and they get a big set win or a match win? I don't know if social distancing is going to stick around too long in that moment. Walton somehow kept that ball on the inside of the antenna. That was impressive, but Cox answers back with a huge kill. The ball landed between the bodies of Walton and Horner and the net. So good response from the red team. And they keep that cushion of 5. Awfully close to the net. Cox plays it back. Now set up for Leeper, steps in. Down the line to Christian. Tynes setting up Walton. Again, she's got to go tight roping down the side. Did that work? I think Walton ran into the net. It must have come over as well, and that's what Coach Klein's saying. It was an excellent effort, but unfortunately, it goes against the Gray team. Horner takes a dive, lets O'Donnell send it across. Here's Cox. Down the line to May. Set up for Horner in the middle. Couple taps. Now Leeper with a chance. Caddy corner. May dives on the floor, keeps it going. And Red calling for a double. Coach Klein agrees. And Red pulling away. Coach Turner is going to have to call a timeout. And he's doing just that. 14-7 lead for Gray over Red. Gray with a 2-1 lead. And we'll take a look at some of the highlights so far of this set. I'll bring in Erin Farina again because she looks like she needs something to do. Erin, are you surprised at all at how well Red's been able to keep up the intensity and the energy based on how much they used in the third set?
Actually, I'm not. I think that when you come off of a win like they did in the third set, especially after being down 2-0, I mean, you're doing everything you can to stay in this game. And so they came in with a lot of energy in this fourth set, and they're really capitalizing on it. I mean, they're making the white team work really hard, and I mean, they're just playing a better game right now.
No question about that, and that's why they have a 7-point lead as we get further into the fourth set. Thank you, Aaron. And it'd be really nice, from my perspective, from a competitive standpoint, if they were able to win this set. Not that I'm choosing favorites, but if we could get to a fifth set traditionally, instead of just saying, all right, we're going to play 5 sets no matter what, that would be a lot cooler. Just saying. That's just my personal opinion. That would be more enjoyable. So Gray takes a timeout. Red gets the serve. May returns it from Connolly. Here's Walton, gets up high, and it's blocked out of play. Really good effort by Salafu and Leaper, but they could not keep it inside the white line. So Gray gets the point that, oh no, yeah, there we go. They changed the scoreboard. So Gray gets the point that they needed out of that timeout. Connolly sets up Leaper. Easy return by Tynes. So set up. No, she's going to have to kill it. Try to send it over, I should say. A bit out of sequence in that moment. And it costs Team Gray. Katie Cornelius goes back to serve. It's been her, Smith, and Conley all night, but mainly Cornelius. Here's Emma Drake. Nice dig by Tynes. But in the end, having Katie Cornelius back at serving just brings the good mojo. She was a part of that 5 straight point effort in set 3 for Team Red to help propel them at the end of that set for the victory, their first of the night. Christian setting up Lavelle down the middle. Cornelius dives out, and then Lavelle not enough to get it over. Tip of the hat to number 12 in red. And more perspiration to wipe off the floor. It has cooled down in here, just saying. Shout out to John Waters for putting in the big A fan over there, helping the air circulate. Because the voice was sweating when we first got in here. Now I'm sweating with excitement. 17-8, Red trying to force a 5th set after really being outplayed in the first 2 sets. Had a moment of brilliance in the second set, but fell apart at the end. And then they were the ones finishing strong in set 3, and now they've kept this strong start and kept this cushion in the 4th set. Christian, Lavelle, partially blocked. Cornelius got a piece of it. They can still get it over. Now they got to get back and play defense if you're on red. Clevenger could not get it across the net, and the woes continue for Team Gray. Down by 9 again. Christian has Lavelle just tap it over. Now Smith steps into one. Christian setting up O'Donnell, and a double is called on Flynn Christian. 10-point advantage. Folks, I don't want to jinx it, but man, I feel like we're going to a 5th set for real. Erin knows. She looked at me. She's like, yeah, we're going to a 5th set. She knows. She's been there. She's been on that side of it. Lavelle took extra time. She was in slow motion, cocking that arm back and smashing it on the other side. I feel like that pretty much sums up Natalie Lavelle. You meet her, it's okay, no problem. And then when you get to know her, it's just bang. And Smith too strong, so 2 straight points for the Gray team. Leaper, perfectly placed kill for number 4. That'll give Red 20 points for the second time in today's match. First time was in the last set, and they won that one. Can they take care of business here and force a 5th and decisive set? Corey May doing her part to prolong things. Annie Tynes will go back to serve. Annie's parents in the crowd today. Makes it feel more normal. They're at every game throughout her career. It's good to see some familiar faces, even if their masks are on. Although they didn't recognize Aaron right away, but it's okay. As you mature, you start to look better. That's how it works. Look at me. Big point for the red team, as they can taste it now. A real chance, not just charity, to get to set 5 after going down 2-0 early. So that point won't count as a stray ball came rolling into frame. Let's go back and look at a few plays ago. Clevenger, excellent return by Cornelius. Now Smith had it blocked, bounced around, a lift and a point for the red team. And Coach Turner calls a timeout for Team Gray. 22-12. You can enjoy the natural sound of Turner Gymnasium as I shut up and we take a break. Sorry about that. I just missed turning the crowd mic down before the buzzer. So if you're listening with headphones, I apologize for the damage I've caused to your eardrums. I'm not going to apologize for this match. 22-12. I know that that's obviously not a close set, but it's a close match overall. It's 2-1 in favor of the Gray squad after they jumped out to a 2-0 early lead. Team Red fought back for a third set victory, 25-21, and now they're in position to force that 5th set in the traditional sense, not just because Coach Gibbons said, hey, we're going to play 5 sets. Gray team called the timeout. They're looking for the point after. Still have a chance. O'Donnell blocked, kept alive. Clevenger pushes across, and a big moment for Team Gray. Much like Team Red in set number 2, yes, that may not lead to a victory in this set, but those type of plays, those type of moments can help propel them and keep some of that into the 5th set, regardless of how this result finishes. Billy Smith, returned by Tynes. In the middle, it's Horner. Conley will set up Cox. Big kill attempt. Nice job, Tynes returning, but then another self-induced giveaway by Team Gray. The shoe has turned the other foot, and it's no longer red making those mistakes. Of course, I say that. Lily and I are going to have a talk. Making me look bad. Just kidding. Just kidding. 23-14. Corey May, returned by Smith. Stepped into by Cox. Big block from Lodano and Horner. Now it's Leaper, the 10, to the backside. Tynes is there. Christian could not get there in time. And set point is coming your way for Team Red. Connolly goes back to serve. This to force a fifth set. Walton, returned by Cornelius. Here's Cox from the 10. Got deflected. May kept it going though. Walton again. Off the shoulder of Cox. And we'll keep going in set 4. Set point on the line. Here's Cox, gets it across. Christian plays it in the middle for Lavelle. In or out, Coach Givens? She had the best look at it. And it's out, so Red wins. We're tied at 2 sets apiece, going to a 5th and final right here on LHSN.
Look what you're missing. It really don't matter to me. I'm just happy to be here. I might go crazy.
I was looking for a school that could provide me with the athletics, academics to pursue my career, a wind symphony to pursue my passion for music, and really have a nice general atmosphere. The professors here are really unique, their background and their passion for teaching. It's really a place where you can explore. Lynchburg gives you the opportunity to fail, but also get back up in that period of time and learn from your mistakes. I can make these mistakes within the school environment, but also with the support of other friends, and be ready for the real world when you graduate.
All right, folks, we are between sets 4 and 5. We're going all the way tonight. After Red wins the 4th set, 25-15. Aaron, in your mind, who has the advantage?
Right now, I think Red still has the advantage. However, White was really picking it up at the end. I think they just waited a little too long to turn it on. So I think it'll be a pretty exciting 5th set if both teams come into the start of the 5th with the intensity that the 4th ended with.
Is there anything about the practices that they've had or the chances they've had to be with one another that could favor one team or the other, or is it pretty balanced in your mind?
I think that you would think that the red team has the advantage considering they have the only setter that's healthy. But I mean, white has surprised a lot of people, I think, tonight with the fact that we have 2 DSs setting and they're doing a really good job.
No question about that. They will have to continue doing that, and hopefully, for their sake, Gray can get off to a much better start in the 5th set. We're only going to 15 instead of 25. Stick around. We'll be right back in just a few moments.
Here's to life and here's to Lynchburg, to the years we spent together. I don't know when or how we gathered, but I know I'm home. So here's to love and here's to the heartache, all the laughter, every mistake. I don't know how our lives will be changed, but here I am home. Here I'm home.
Taking a look at some of the highlights from set number 4, Team Red won that one 25-15. It's interesting when you look at the scores. First set, Gray wins, dominating fashion, 25-14. Then a little bit closer in the second set, Red fell off at the end, 25-18. Then Red comes back with a tight third set win, 25-21. And then they dominate in the 4th set, 25-15. So, as Aaron mentioned, they certainly have the momentum. They should be the favorites on paper. But that is why they play the game. We'll see if Gray can find some of that first 2-set magic. Can they get the first point? That'll help. First to 15, win by 2. And Red picks up where they left off, adding the first point of the 5th set. I think one of the Gray team members' moms is in the building, because she has not only moved her seat, she is standing up and pacing, and she's looking in that direction. So perhaps her daughter is on the Gray team. And they're trying to figure things out. Quickly down 2-0. Cornelius sends it across. And the lack of communication hurting the Gray team. Time sets up Lavelle. Cornelius able to answer. Somebody had to make a decision. Leaper's the one that ends up taking it, and then Clevenger, too sharp of an angle, and it goes out of bounds. Team Red outscoring so far between the 4th set and this set early on. Team Gray 29-15. And an ace for Cornelius. Talk about taking the momentum with a vice grip and just continuing to hold on to it, not giving up an inch. Team Gray is not helping themselves, but you got to give a lot of credit to Team Red. It's not just the physical game right now, it's the mental aspect. As Cornelius makes a rare mistake. Not just her, just for Team Red in general. They have done such a great job of overcoming the big mistakes they were making in the first 2 sets. And the luck goes the way of Team Gray that time. O'Donnell with the ace. And a 3-point game. This is a huge point. Could be a huge point for Team Gray. Finally makes a play on it. Cox pushes it across. O'Donnell plays it for May. Partially blocked, out of play. And don't look now, Team Gray on their way. As I continue to try to find words that end in A for some reason. 3 serving 5. It was just 5-0 not that long ago. Times plays it up for May. Down the line, and was it deflected? Apparently it was. Because the ball definitely landed outside the white line, so it must have been deflected out. Look at the response from Team Gray. This is the Team Gray we saw in the first set. Now Red's got to find that 3rd and 4th set Red. Coach Turner calls a timeout as Team Gray ties it up at 5 apiece. As we took a back at a couple of those moments for Team Gray, they are in control. It's a tie game, but they are in control in the 5th and final set. First 1 to 15 wins. Just want to take a second to thank all of you watching. We know it's been a really tough year. It's been a really odd semester for us not to have the normal workflow. It's been really weird mentally to be engaged for a couple of days and then you got nothing to do. But you have stuck through with us as we continue to try and bring you as much content, as much good content as we can. We're not just throwing trash out there. We're throwing really good original stuff out there for you. And we hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have putting it together. And this has been an excellent way to bookend the stuff that we've been able to actually put together and do this semester, which has been phenomenal. Again, as I started the broadcast, big shout out to the administration on down. Everyone's bought in. Wear your mask, stay distant from one another, and just be smart. And that's how we've got to where we are tonight. 5-all in the 5th set. And Gray continues to tack on the points. They've scored 6 unanswered to take their first lead of the 5th set. Cornelius sends it up for Leaper, who's playing near side now, and that works for a big side out by Team Red. Leaper gets it across. Tynes plays it for May, blocked. Salafu and Cox up front. Now it's May again. This time it's Leaper responding. That's awfully tight to the net, and Lavelle makes them pay. I cannot stand still. Just back and forth pacing as we go back and forth between Red and Gray, exchanging points. Right now it's Gray with the 1-point lead, and we're tied again. Great effort by both of these groups of athletes. I want to take a second to say a great effort by the folks working the game day crew. These balls are being cleaned before they're put back into play with disinfectant, and those handling the balls are wearing gloves as well. So thinking ahead and making the necessary adjustments for the game day team, the events crew, helping make this happen as well. Red with 2 points in a row. Taking that 1-point lead. That touched the antenna. And unforced error from Team Gray and a timeout taken by Coach Gibbons. 9-7 is the score, and I want to bring in Aaron Farina to help me out, get us through the rest of this. I mean, what can you say? As tight as things are, obviously Red's got the lead right now, Aaron, but I still feel like it's anybody's ball game at the moment.
I think it definitely is anybody's game. I think both teams are pretty even in making almost like self-induced errors. I think both are coming in with good energy, but I think both teams are just making a few too many errors. The team that minimizes their errors is the team that's going to win.
Leave it up to the former player to bring up the errors while I'm trying to be positive up here. But it's all part of the game, and that's why Aaron is here to help us see all facets of it. Thank you very much, Aaron. As we get closer to the end of this one, again, if you're watching this, you probably know how the sport works, but it's part of my nature to explain it. First to 15, win by 2. That's the rules in set 5. Point Red, and they take a large lead towards the end of this set. 10-7. They led early, 5-0. The white, I almost got it right. The gray team answered with 6 straight to take a lead, and it was back and forth until now. Gray desperately needs a side out. Tynes. Christian sets up May. In the corner, excellent placement, and really all-around sequence. Tynes, Christian, and May doing it just like it was drawn up. So now they've got it in their control to start off. Can Tynes pick up her 3rd ace of the night? Not an ace, but it still works. Point Gray. And a 1-point set again. Last-minute adjustment by Connolly. Smith, too strong. 3 straight unanswered from the Gray squad. They seem really good at battling back in that way, but they can't afford to give up 5 more now, because that would be the ball game. So Coach Turner calls a timeout for the Red squad. Each of these coaches back with their original team that they started in the first set. And certainly lots of good and bad to take away from tonight's action, but in my opinion, in my eyes, way more good just to hear the celebrations, hear applause in the stands. It's so close to the real thing, and it's been nice. It's been nice for all of the events that we've had. The Hornet Cup, women's soccer over the weekend. I mean, women's soccer had one of the biggest crowds that we've probably ever had for, you know, that type of a match throughout the year. And the only reason that you couldn't really tell was because everybody was so spread out the way they had to be. So it's not just the athletes missing the sports, it's the fans too. And we're glad we can bring this to you. 10-all, first to 15 wins. May, too strong. And Red gets a much needed point out of a timeout. Katie Cornelius going back again to serve. She's had the hot hand for Red in that area, and she'll pick up the point. Now's the time for Gray. They cannot give up any more points. It's going to be really hard to come back from down 3 again. Clevenger, tipped by Connolly. So close to being 3 in a row for Team Red. Instead, it's a 1-point game again. Right down the line. Smith forced to play it. And Red doing an excellent job getting that over without too many touches. But Gray continues to put on the pressure, be aggressive, and tied up at 12. Mark Robertson couldn't write up a better script than this. He's pretty daggone good. Close to that line, Tynes forced to play it. O'Donnell gets it across. Cornelius, now Connolly. Drake, who just stepped in, decides to go the soft touch across the line. Walton will not, and it works in favor of Gray.
One moment, though, please. Okay.
Whew, man. Take this moment. Breathe in and breathe out. 13-12. Gray won the first two, lost the last two. And they are in position with 2 more points to come away with a 3-2 victory. And that is not how Red wanted to respond. Just came off the arms of Lily Smith awkwardly. And here we go, match point coming your way, potentially for Team Gray. May with the serve, Conley pops it up. Here's Cornelius in the middle, Drake pushes it across. They ask for a double, and they get it. Team Gray wins on an error. Aaron Farina talked about it. Those errors, we don't want to highlight them too much, but they have played a role tonight, and they did at the end. One last error for Team Red means a victory for Team Gray in 5 sets. This is way better than anybody could have asked for. An absolute excellent showing in the stands. People respecting the rules, the COVID protocols in place by the events crew, and the 2 teams on the floor giving us some great action to showcase for you on LHSN. Feels good, man. It just feels good. So 15-12 is a final score in set 5. Team Gray wins it by a final score of 3-2. And we will hear from Aaron Farina one last time. Aaron, just final thoughts from you on what you saw tonight. I know there were some bad, but there's also some good in there. And if you are a coach, how do you take this evening's result?
I think that looking on the positives, you have 2 teams that you have a lot of kids that haven't played before, and especially haven't played at the college level at all before, and they came out and they worked hard, and we saw some really good things tonight. I think that another really exciting thing is that we had some injuries and some illnesses, and we have players that can step in to different positions that they're not comfortable in and make an impact and win a game.
No question about that. We talked about the new faces, the new names, if you will, and they might be the names and faces that we see come spring. Now, you have never experienced the break that we're about to take necessarily in this part of the year before you start playing, but you've had summers off. You've had 2 months off before you came back in to play. These ladies are about to endure a 2-month break over winter and to come back in January, practice and get started on their season. What's the key for them to remain at the shape that they're in at the moment, but also get better? Because volleyball is an indoor sport. It's going to be, you can't really go outside and play in the cold. So what would you suggest these ladies do, or maybe something you've done that they should try to stay in fit shape for January?
I think that's a really good point, and the simple answer is what Coach Smith always says is find a way. You know, I mean, you can go and you can do wall ball against a wall in your house. You can meet up with a teammate once a week if you're able to. Find a gym, and a lot of kids still have access to their clubs and their high schools, and that's something at this point that they really need to take advantage of. Getting touches is the most important thing to come into the spring season and not have to essentially start from scratch like you were just on summer break and you're coming into preseason again.
Well, we will find out for sure in January and February if these ladies were able to take care of themselves and get better throughout the winter break. Erin, thank you so much for lending us your mind and your time and your skills on the camera. You've done it all tonight. Really do appreciate it. Big shout out to the rest of the crew again. Olivia, Laurencia, Max on camera, director, replay, not in that order, but they're back there pushing all the right buttons. And a big thanks to you for tuning in to the broadcast tonight. I want to thank the coaches and the players for being willing to put themselves in this position, and everyone in attendance tonight for doing the right things, being separated, wearing their masks. This is the norm for us. This is how we're going to get it done in the spring, and this is a good test of that this evening. So until next time, I'm Joe Hutzler. The Hive has spoken. It's a great day to be a Hornet, and we are, you got it, One Nation.